Welcome, everybody, to another episode of On the Range Podcast with Hogg Tactical and Kelley Defense. I am Mark Kelley, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host and friend, Rick Hogg. How's it going, buddy?
Man, Mark, it is going great. I just want to thank the viewers, listeners out there for giving us your most precious commodity, your time to tune in. Here's the deal, guys. I hope you got your workout in or your dry fire in today. If you didn't, here's the deal. If you're driving home, doing whatever, man, make it a priority. Make yourself the number one priority. Make yourself 1% better each and every day. Do us a huge favor. Please hit that subscribe button. Leave us a rating review. I don't care if it's just a thumbs up emoji. Leave us something to help us grow and get our reach out there to the OTR universe. And then, man, word of mouth is always the best way. Tell your friends, tell your family, hit that share button on whatever platform you listen to. Pass that word on. And then here's the deal, guys. If you like what you're hearing, you want to get, Zoom calls with me and Mark twice a month. You want training tips that are exclusive only to our patrons, inside scoops to what we've got going on, early access to stuff. Boom. Patreon.com/On the Range Podcast. Say that again. Patreon.com/On the Range Podcast. Dude, we have a great time. We had a Zoom call with our patrons the other day. Absolutely fantastic group of guys. And you know what? Love to have you guys on board. So make sure you guys check it out. The other thing to check out, do us a huge favor. warhog.com and kelleydefense.com. Make sure you guys sign up for our newsletters, kind of know what's going on there. Again, at least for me, I'm getting ready to launch the K9 product line. I'm going to let the guys on my news list or on my newsletter know first. I'm going to give them first dibs. Go ahead, guys. Here you go.
Nice.
Yeah. So that way they can sit there and show off all the show off their stuff and go, hey man, look what I got. So, but yeah, warhog.com, kelleydefense.com. Check it out. Don't forget, you can hit the industry partners page as well. See all the different people we're partnering with, all the different coupon codes. And as Mark likes to say, it will save you a boatload of cash. So super excited about today's episode, pal.
Yeah, man. Wherever you are, guys, thank you for making us part of your day. Your boys are at it again. Seems like we're always working. Seems like we're always putting out content, not only for the Patrons. They get a ton, though.
Oh, yeah.
But we're out here doing it for you guys, and we're really enjoying ourselves. So, again, just like Rick said, take advantage of it and hit those industry partner pages and use those promo codes.
Mm-hmm.
Love those guys. Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of good savings in there, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So the people are done, Rick. They're done.
The people have been done, but yes.
Yeah. I think we've reached the critical mass, and it's just coming all over. It's coming all out. The hypocrisy, as I think, is big. We were talking pre-production. I think not only the hypocrisy, but all of the slide back, the pushback, and everything coming from the people is finally starting to do a lot. I think our friends up in Canada, in Ottawa, doing what they're doing.
Oh, dude.
They're protesting, and the people they're not, destroying things. They're protesting. And they're doing it consistently, and they got support of at least half. I saw a poll number: 54% of the country who was very heavily restriction and mandate favorable is now up to like 54%. They don't want it anymore, and that was a quick turnaround.
Oh yeah, and you're seeing the Canadian people. I saw this today. They're carrying cans of fuel, right? Because they're not wanting to fill up the trucks. You know what? No problem, man. You know how much gas you can get, or I should say diesel, in those 5-gallon cans? A lot. And I mean, there was a boatload of people, going to sit there and keep that stuff going. So it's like, guys, here's the thing. The people are at that point, man, done with it. Right. Because, originally when all this China virus crap started, I accepted, what the CDC had to say. Hey, wash your hands. You don't need to tell me, but okay, that's cool. That's some good guidance, right? You got to tell people to have proper hygiene, but whatever. And then they were kind of saying, hey, button down the hatches. This thing will fade away. And then of course let's add this mandate and do this and do that. And I got it. States, we live in the greatest country in the world. And the beauty is, states have rights as well. States mandated certain things, some did, some didn't. What's essential, what's not, we can get into all that argument. Again, you've got to believe with, the safety of the people in mind. However,
Yeah.
we're well past the point, now you start making
for a long time now. Yeah.
For a long time. And I think really the whole catalyst, you want Rick's opinion, when you start saying, hey, you've got to get this mandatory jab, and if you don't, now I'm going to take away part of your rights, or I'm going to ask a restaurant employee to somehow verify that you've been, you got your jab card or whatever, right? Because I'm not going to use the V word because it don't work, Yeah. But there's just so much. We're done, man. The American people are done. And let's get our lives back. Okay. Quit doing stuff to our kids or mandating to our kids rubbish that we don't need. You don't mess with kids, bottom line.
Yeah.
So, but I think, kind of leading into it, when we were talking, pre-production, State of the Union's coming up, right?
Oh yeah.
And, it's, I guarantee, old Brandon's going to get up there and jump up and down and say, hey man, I'm the savior. I brought us out of this mess, yada, yada.
Yeah. They're already starting.
Yeah. And it's just, it's all a propaganda game, right? Yeah. Don't quote me on this, but I think his approval rating is the lowest of any sitting president, I do believe. Don't quote me on it, but I do believe he's at the lowest approval mark,
Well,
but somehow,
I do think you're probably close. You're probably close at that, even if you're not right. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But again, supposedly had all these people vote for him, but we won't get into that sidebar deal. But here's the deal, man. I've said it time and time again. Dude, let people live. Let them get on. Hey, man, if you want to wear your mask, if you think somehow mentally that's going to help you, great, good for you. Think about it. Years before all this crap, you'd see the Chinese tourists floating around the States wearing their mask. Whatever, dude. People want to wear it. That's your choice. But don't tell me I've got to do this. And I think that's where the line's drawn, is the quote unquote mandates. It's like, dude, we're done. So.
Yeah. And I think we've talked about how we were, really impressed with what the truckers are doing up in Canada is the American people are able to see it. We usually don't report a ton of, or get a ton of reporting coming out of Canada, but this was so in our face and it was so impressive. And the response from Justin Trudeau, was crazy. And I've got to throw this out here. Now, I've never been the cops are always right kind of guy. Everybody has to be judged on what they did legally and you have to put yourself in that position. And we have been critical sometimes. And a lot of times it's not these life or death things. It's these type of decisions like the Ottawa police and the Ottawa police chief are doing up in Canada. They're up there saying, and this is amazing to me. I heard a report today over on Daily Wire, and they played a soundbite of the Ottawa police chief who was basically saying, yeah, we're going to use all these resources. In the really weird statement was when he said the protesters, we're going to start investigating the protesters. See, protesting is okay. That's protected. We want, people are allowed to protest. No, they're going to go after the protesters. They're going to try to attack their finances, find out who they are, if they're blocking the road, if they're providing fuel to the truckers, they're going to run their plates. This isn't a criminal investigation. This isn't what's the crime giving someone else fuel? There's no crime in that, but they're turning these legally protected, especially in the United States, activities. And how many times do we hear it when they're burning down cities that these are protected activities, right? Yeah. They're going to turn that around and start criminalizing these people who are fed up with what the government's doing. And then Justin Trudeau, and I'll let you get make your comment on what we were just talking about, the police. He's saying we have to do these mandates so that we can get our liberty back. What? So we have to burn the village down to save the village? Yeah. It's unbelievable. We don't take away liberty to give us liberty. No. You just leave us alone.
No. Yeah. And here's the thing on the LE side, right? And you guys have heard me say this time and time again. It's you're enforcing the law. You're not making the law. You're not adjusting the law. You're enforcing the law. And I get it. Are there, calls that officers make? Sure. Yes, technically I was breaking the law by speeding. He can sit there and go, yep, here's a warning, do whatever. I get it, right? But here's the deal. When I start extending my power, in essence, that's what they're doing, to make up new things. Well, you're protesting, so now I'm going to somehow penalize you for that. Okay. Am I breaking the law? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll just use, hey man, I'm Joe Blow carrying a 5-gallon, can of diesel to one of these truckers and go, hey dude, here's some gas for your truck. Thank you for what you're doing. So you're telling me, by me helping out another individual, and again, I'm not super savvy on, actually I'm zero savvy on Canadian law, but helping out another person, and we preach, hey, be a good person, right? They're being a good person, right? You're somehow going to dig up something to go, well, that's criminal activity. Okay, stop. Did you steal the gas?
Yeah.
No, you paid for it. Did you steal the jerry can it's in? Nope, you paid for it. What law has been broken? You can't arbitrarily do that. And that's where, but we've seen that repeated, in my opinion, during this whole freaking China virus deal. State of North Carolina, prime example. We have legislation on the books. It is illegal to wear face covering. Yeah. But the governor passes a mandate. Why don't we go to the state legislation and go, hey guys, check it out. We need to revamp this law, change it. And then if we want to come back and revisit it, cool. But that's my biggest gripe. And it seems like nobody's batting an eye. Nobody cares. Nobody's going, what a total overstep of government. You just can't arbitrarily make stuff on the fly. So in our case, here's a prime example. First Amendment. I won't even get into the second. We'll just say the first. Let's say, tomorrow, Brandon decides to, do an executive order to cease the first. It's no longer. Come on, man. And you're sitting there going, Rick, you've lost your mind. Have I? Because there's been such oversteps of power. And here's my thing. Who would balk it? Who would fight it? And
it certainly wouldn't come to a surprise at this point.
No,
it would be surprising at this point.
Nothing would surprise me. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. Right. I think the surprise factor is absolutely gone in anything, because it's, and I'll just say the world, for lack of a better term, but the world has absolutely lost their freaking mind. I know especially we have, and especially those elected officials that are supposed to be our voice in doing, the work for their constituents. And I get it. Your constituents, it's kind of a, majority wins in that basis. Okay. Whoever voted in, I might not have voted for him, but you know what? I got to kind of deal with it. Right. I get it. But at the end of the day, we're done. We're seeing our government fail us. Bad information being put out. I mean, it's just a total cluster across the board. So I'm hoping that, 2020, at least for the US here, or excuse me, 2022 is an epic year in the fact of, if you want to use the classic phrase, drain the swamp. Yeah, dude, it's out. Yeah. And I think Tony Cowden hit it. He said it the best. So the Dems have their squad. Okay. That's cool. Tony's like, yeah, we're assembling a task force. Let's see how your squad stands up to that. And I was like, rock on, brother. So. And
to be totally fair to the individual constables and police officers and Mounties and all the stuff up there in Canada, I would think that many of the individual law officers would take that stand, but it's just to see their head guy in Ottawa make that type of a statement was really, it was very telling of what they're thinking up there in the leadership in Canada right now.
But we've seen that here in the US, Mark, as well, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
So there's been chiefs that, in Rick's opinion, should have stood behind their people. Mm-hmm. But because of whether it's political pressure, media pressure, whatever, they cave in. And it's like, no, man, check it out. This was my philosophy when I was a leader in the Army, right? hey man, you're my guy. I'm responsible for you. Here's the deal. If you're being falsely accused, dude, we'll fight all day long. If you've done something wrong and there's nothing I can do to help you, I'm just not going to cut you to the wolves. We'll still make the walk, but there's nothing I can do. I can't fight for you. I can't do anything because, it's wrong. But too many cases, this is a prime example where you've got a chief who I guarantee I'd be, and I might be speaking out of context, but I'd probably say doesn't back his people, right? And here he is going to sit there and start arbitrarily making laws and doing all this crazy stuff. But I just go, we've seen that here in the U.S. We've seen it where chiefs should have been behind their people. Instead, they let the media frenzy eat them alive. And I'm like,
yeah. And to be fair, we've had some that had done the right thing and said, hey, man, we work for the people. I know you're my boss and you can fire me. And there's a lot of people that were fired over that stuff. And they're like, you know what? No, we're not doing that. We believe that this is wrong. This is not a law. We're not going to enforce it. And they did the right thing. They did what they had to do. Sure. Tough situation for everybody, but they made the right decisions. And I think probably it's more on that side of the decision making than it is on the other side. I do believe that. I think more officers did the right thing and said, nah, I work for these folks. I'm not going to be a part of shutting this business down. It's not going to happen. So, and the reason why we're bringing that stuff up is because the people are done. And you're starting to see, and you started to bring up that the State of the Union is coming up. The midterms are coming up. They're starting to walk back on these things. They've got to take this as a win somehow. So now all of a sudden, switching gears just a little bit, CNN, it wasn't Sanjay Gupta. It was another doctor, some lady. I just caught a snippet of it. Basically saying how, the data that we're looking at the data now, and it's the science is changing, and now we don't see benefit for the masks and the other thing. Well, that in itself is a flat out lie, because the science and the data never supported, especially for young people, having them masked up. It never supported them. Never did. But now they're trying to say, oh yeah, it's changing now. We got to reevaluate it. Yeah. They're starting to do all these studies now. Well, those studies would have been useful last year, right? We could have ended this a hell of a lot sooner.
But here's the thing on the mask, right? This is just Rick's opinion. You can put out, hey, we think there's nothing. Nobody ever wants to go, they don't want to do the middle of the road. But I think this would have been a prime example. Hey man, we think the mask will help. If you want to wear it, great. If you don't. Versus going, oh no, you've got to wear it. Come on, man. Because nobody wears it right. Dude, I give you a prime example. So me and Mama Hogg went out to, the theater this weekend. Of course, had to wear the mask. Okay. Dude, so here's my mask below my nose, right? Because, whatever. And I got the mask police pointing at me, going, hey, dude, you got to fix that. I'm like, okay, whatever. Trust me, nobody really cared there, but it was like so trying to go, and it's like, get over it, man. So I think that's going to be at the end of the day, whenever this thing finally gets cleared up, that will be the biggest misinformation campaign out there. If anyone opts to, go down that road.
What side of history do you think they're going to be on, the right or the wrong? Because those businesses are never coming back.
Nope.
Like you said at the beginning, hey man, we didn't know what was going to happen. But we could have very quickly done some of the studies that they say they're doing now. They're not doing these studies. No, they're just going to roll these things back. They're even saying that. Go ahead, bud.
No, I'm just saying you hit the nail on the head. And I think it's critical just to remind, the viewers, listeners, that there are people that will never recover from this. Their business is gone. They'll never get it back. Right. There's people that are in God knows what financial situations, because again, they're trying to keep this thing going. Maybe their kid's college fund burnt away. It's criminal what happened, when, in my opinion, we just could have went, hey man, we don't know. And we could have, been lax, because it wasn't like it fixed anything. So,
and there's commentary now that they're trying to minimize the fact that they were pushing these masks for these young, especially the kids. And we've been focusing a lot on the kids because we're grown-ups. We can handle this stuff. and they're starting to say, well, it really wasn't that damaging to the kids, this whole mandate stuff and the masks and the, at home learning. Are you kidding me? You think, I know I work in a big city and we deal with a lot of the kids and we have functions with them and we deal with them. We see them. We have units that are specifically dedicated to working with the kids and being in the schools. You're telling me that the ones who are already struggling aren't just lost now? Yeah. They're never going to recover. And if people think that the learning isn't there because most of your face is covered up as a little kid, or some teachers taping your mask to your face or making you apologize for being who you are at no fault of your own, you don't think that's going to affect anybody when we're talking about 6, 7, 8-year-olds?
100%.
They're crazy. They're trying to minimize the impact of what they caused, and they know they caused it.
Well, you've got basically a generation that is crushed, man. Think about it. How many kids?
It's going to be uphill for them, man.
Dude, how many kids lost their scholarships?
Yeah.
I mean, how many kids? Look at the younger kids. How many got told, "Oh, you're bad because you're poisoning your classmates because your mask isn't right," or think about how many parents got booted off of airplanes because a 2-year-old doesn't want to keep their mask on. Have you lost your mind, man? And we've seen it. This isn't Rick pulling stuff out of his back pocket going, "Hey, here's some BS."
This happened. Yeah, this happened. Yeah.
And it's like, stop. And then we won't even get into the catastrophic effect, for some people that took the jab. Plenty of people have lost their loved ones from,
that alone.
Yeah, from, side effects. There's one guy I know for a fact lost his 16-year-old son because it was mandated. Okay, your kid's got to get freaking jab. Yeah. And then the kid had an adverse reaction. He's dead. Tell that father, hey, man, I'm sorry. Dude, it doesn't bring the boy back, so.
No, we believe that this will be turned around fairly quickly, and we have a couple reasons why. We do have the, Rick already hit on it. We do have the State of the Union coming up. They're going to have to claim some kind of a win because this presidency and what we got going on now is a disaster. So the midterms are fastly approaching. The hypocrisy is in full display right now. And we're about ready to talk a little bit about this. I actually have some visuals that the audience always likes, but this is a perfect example of what we're talking about. And people, they see it. They're not stupid. You can't do this and expect that you're not going to get some pushback.
Yeah.
It's incredible to me that everybody, first of all, let's be honest. She's not in great shape.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
No physical specimen right there.
Not a pillar of health, but Stacey Abrams is 10 times, I'd say 100 more times at risk of contracting and dying from this virus than these kids are. And look at this picture.
Yep. Or heart disease or diabetes or whatever else.
Yeah. And this type of hypocrisy was on full display the last couple of weeks. And I think that had something to do with it as well. And she's a gubernatorial candidate for Georgia. Yeah. She's doing this. It's a horrible, horrible look. And the backlash was immediate. She then took to Twitter and had a horrible take, basically saying that it was shameful that they were attacking her, and basically trying to say that she was somehow a protected class. And you can pick the reason why, but that just ain't going to fly. It's not going to fly for half of your potential constituents as being the governor of Georgia when everybody and all their kids have to wear masks and you're sitting there. And then she tried to lie, say, well, I took it off for that photo op. No, there's plenty of other pictures of her walking through the school without a mask on.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Okay. If you took it off for your photo op, it would be somewhere in your hands. I see nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. So,
and it's not just her either. I mean, it's Gavin Newsom.
Dude, there's been, Newsom did, Pelosi did, all these people that were sitting there hooping and hollering the mask were some of the biggest mask violators, and I'm just like
London Breed.
Oh,
London Breed, who the greatest name in politics. We both agree on that, buddy. That's a great name. But,
no, I mean, super name on that one, but But
Yeah.
the point being, and I'm wondering, let's see how, I don't know if she ever funded San Francisco police or not. I'd be interested to see follow up on that one if they ever get any money back.
I hope she does. I'm pulling for them and all the cops out there and their people, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, California's got some police dramas with other crap going on, but we'll leave that for another show. But
yeah,
you know, the point being is here's these people that supposedly somebody elected to put in office. And again, they don't, it's like leadership 101, right? Set the example.
Yeah.
How hard is it? How hard is that? Set the example. And here you are running your mouth about masks. And here's a prime example. So you take it off for the photo op? Give me a break.
Yeah.
You know? And here's the sad part, right? Like I'm just sitting there looking like the one kid over her right shoulder, your left as you're looking at the photo. You can tell the kid's trying to smile, right?
Sure.
Never know.
Sure.
Never know. You know?
No.
I mean, probably even the kid on the left side of her, the glasses, kind of looks like he's trying to smile. But the point being, that in itself, at that critical development age, and again, I'm not any type of expert on child development, but dude, you don't think facial expressions are critical? You know,
sure.
What? Think about it. Think about it just for us as an adult, right? You pass by another one, you know, another person, and you smile. What do they typically do? They smile back, right?
Yeah.
They're reading off of your body language. I've had people that were all frowning, and you just throw them a nice smile or a wave or something, dude. It
changes their whole day.
Exactly. Yeah. So now,
dude, when Mama Kelley Defense is upset with Daddy-O, I know it.
Yeah, because you can look at that facial expression, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't know what I did, but I won't do it anymore.
No. Sometimes the eyes are the shoe flat across the room. I mean, that'll let you know. But to me, that's a critical developmental piece. And you're robbing those kids. You know, at what point is it critical? At what point does it fade? I don't know. But I do know this, man. You know, they're kids. They're learning. They're developing. And really the lowest population at risk for this silliness.
And you're going to make them all the stuff.
You're going to make them mask up. You're going to want to jab them with some garbage. I'm sorry, man. You know, and the parents should be up in arms 100%.
Yeah.
And dude, whoever's, you know, running against her, that's your campaign ad. And I would just put, set the example, say no more.
Oh, dude, that's going to be on every, every campaign ad that her opponent has. And here's that guy Kemp. And here's another thing too, that Rams game, you know, they got Magic Johnson taking pictures of everybody with Eric Garcetti and London Breed and Gavin Newsom. None of them have freaking masks on, but then they had the mask police roaming up and down. They're saying that they're going to keep these masks for the kids, even though they're getting rid of the mask mandate on the 15th, which is they're going to make the kids continue to do it. It's so hypocritical. And I just got to say this: who is Stacey Abrams' staffers that set this picture up? That photo op is going to be on every campaign poster for Kemp everywhere in Georgia. If it's not, then the Kemp staff is crazy, because look at that, dude. You talk about hypocrisy,
dude. That I wouldn't even, you know, I would put the simple text on there. You know, I mean, that's it. Set the example. Boom, done. But dude, you don't even need the staffers, right? This is the part that kills me. If you're pushing the mask agenda, you think I need a staffer to tell me, hey, dude, put your mask on? Yeah, I don't like the mask. I buck the mask. You know, those of you that have seen the vlogs, you see what I do on the airplane. You've seen where Rick sits at with it, right? But again, if my world was reversed, okay, and let's say I was, you know, some type of politician or public figure there, I would 100% do the right thing all the time. Because if I'm telling my people to do this, hey man, you got to wear the mask. You know, I think it's important. Dude, set the freaking example. And that is a critical piece. I don't care if you're a politician. I don't care if you're a parent. I don't care if you're a boss for somebody. Dude, if there's one thing, the Army instills, it's set the example. Because trust me, as soon as you don't, your Joes or your subordinates or however you want to look at it, dude, okay, say as I do, but not, or say what I do. Hang on, what is that saying?
Do what I say,
do what I say. That's what it is. Do what I say, but not what I do. I mean, that's the prime example right there. So, it's leadership 101, man. It is. It doesn't get any more basic than that. And here you are with some freaking, elementary school kids. Let me pop my mask off. What, for a photo op? Give me a break, man.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
And, the one thing we want to make sure that we leave everybody with is just remember, they're not giving you anything. They did this. Mm-hmm. They're trying to take a win. They caused this length of time. They've drugged this out as long as they can. Mm-hmm. You're going to hear, oh, the science doesn't back it. Now the science never backed it.
Nope.
They're going to say, oh, the numbers just aren't there anymore. They've never been there.
Nope.
Therapeutics are out there. The jabs are out there. They're starting, and look, we're not anti any of those things, even masks. Look, if you're wearing a mask, that's just a cloth mask. It's at some point, if you're in an environment for so long, it's like trying to keep a mosquito out with a chain link fence. Now, initially, if you walk through a group and go straight out, there's going to be some benefits there. Of course there are. But we're talking about having it on all the time around everybody, thinking that that's actually doing something. It's not doing anything. So you're going to start seeing all these commentaries. They're going to roll this back. They're starting to say, hey, we were never pro lockdown. Jen Psaki said that. What do you mean? You did it. You left it in place. You could have ended it at any time, and they didn't. So we just want to make sure that we leave everybody with that. Yeah, man.
I would say, if you want to say that, I think the closing statement or lasting statement for this podcast, and we'll probably set it as the title, set the example. I mean, it's that easy, man. If you set the example, dude, everything would be a win after that. But unfortunately, in the world of politics, I don't mind people changing their mind.
You don't see it very often, unfortunately.
No, but I don't mind people changing their mind when they get more information, right? So these politicians are concreted into their stance. Oh, this is where I stand. Okay, cool. Hey, let's say you wanted to do, and again, I'm not supporting, I'm using hypothetical here. Let's say, you're Governor X and you go, cool. We're going to do a mask mandate because, the scientists are telling me that it's going to help the spread or slow the spread or do whatever, right? 2 weeks later, if the scientist comes back and says, hey, man, we were totally wrong. Doesn't work. Dude, change your policy. How hard is that? Ladies and gentlemen, got, on some new information.
You're the president of the United States.
God bless, man. It's politicians. Here's the thing, right? Politicians, in my opinion, there's got to be, and I don't want to use the word floundering, but that's typically the DC buzzword, right? Somebody's floundering because they're going back and forth. No, dude. Number one, if you're up there representing your constituents, it should be my constituents say, or, my voters, whatever word you want to use, I don't care, right? But then if you're going to change your stance on something, cool. Just go, hey, man, I'm changing my stance because either my
circumstances change. My
constituents said this, or more information has been brought to light. I mean, it's pretty easy. But I just frustrating times, my friend. But like I said, we're done. So
and you know what? I guarantee that they looked at the polls, and all you fine Americans, and everywhere around the world, if you ask me, you're letting everybody know that you're done. You're letting everybody know you're done. And thanks to you, I think that's why it's starting to move in that direction. I believe it's going to be quick. I believe all these mandates are going to be done before the summer, and they're going to take it as a win. They're going to do it. So be prepared for that. But you have to make these guys pay if they did things like this to hurt businesses in your community and anything else like in your schools. You got to make them pay at the ballot box, and I hope you will. And I know you will. I know you will.
100%.
Yeah.
And the other closing remark I have here is, was it Sweden that had no mandates? What was the one Scandinavian country that had?
Yeah, Sweden did have an initial kind of response, but then they went immediately back to work. And to be fair to almost all of Europe, all of Europe never put masks on kids.
But my point being is Sweden's still there.
Yes. So is Florida. Yeah. Ron DeSantis, the stuff that they're saying on CNN now, Ron DeSantis and all these other guys, Ben Shapiro been saying it since the very beginning. Yeah. Since the very beginning. And we've been saying it right here. Your boys have.
Amen.
So, yeah, man. Hey, guys, if you like this episode, leave us a comment. Make sure you go to all our past episodes of the wildly popular On the Range podcast in the top 2.5% of global popularity. Help us move that up. We've been there for a little bit. So interact with the pages, 5-star ratings. Make sure you check out the past episodes of War Hogg Words of Wisdom and OTR Vantage Point. Your boys are going to keep the content coming, so just keep consuming it. And at the very least, go to our websites at warhog.com and kelleydefense.com and share these videos and audios.
Yeah.
And if you really want to support the show and get some badass content, one-on-one interaction with Rick and I, do Zoom calls, behind the scenes stuff, vlogs, go to patreon.com/On the Range podcast. Again, patreon.com/On the Range podcast. Well, another one in the books, Rick.
Yeah, buddy. Good one as always.
Another one in the books. Oh yeah, man. And so proud of all those guys up in Canada with what they're doing, and stay safe, and appreciate everybody, saying what you need. You're always pushing this, call your rep. Let them know. Keep it going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, all right, everybody. Have a great one. See you next time on the range. All right, buddy.